Before we get into today's video, I just wanted to say that I really debated if I was gonna post today's video. The quality isn't the best, and I apologize for that. I'm still learning how to use the camera, so hopefully this doesn't happen again, but I hope you enjoyed today's video, so let's get into it. Welcome to today's video. So, we actually have some goodies for the R32 GTR, so let's open it up and see what's inside. Okay, so I already opened the box to see what's inside, but so far we have an HID kit for the R32. My headlights aren't that bright, so that'll hopefully make it a lot better. Here we have a Nismo oil cap. Hopefully this will add probably 10 horsepower. We'll see. What else do we have here? We have some OEM floor mats that probably need to get cleaned. So maybe we'll do that in this video. And we have an OEM toolkit with all the original tools in it. I think the first thing I want to install in the car is this Nismo oil cap. It's looking a little bit faded, so I think I have the solution for that. So we got some AutoSol metal polish, and we're going to be trying to polish the oil cap, and let's see how much of a difference it makes. Okay, so all we have to do is put a little bit on a rag and just rub it in. That might be a little bit too much, but let's see what we can do. Here's before. It's a little bit faded. It might be hard to see on camera, but let's see what this can do. So just dab it on. There it is. So you might not be able to tell much of a difference on camera, but in person it's really shiny. So let's go install this in the car. Let's go out with the old and in with the new. It really matches with the rest of the theme of the car. The red twin turbo writing and the red O in Nismo. It's honestly such a small little detail, but I think it makes such a big difference in the end, especially when all the small details come together and make the car look really good. I think I'm gonna polish the radiator and maybe the bar here to make it shiny again. So let's go do that. Again, just a little bit on a little rag. We use a little bit too much on the oil cap, but here, just take a little bit and just dab it in and then just rub it in. And it should make it a lot shinier. Okay, so for reference, I only did half the strut bar. So this is the half that I did, I polished up, and this is the part that I didn't do yet. You can kind of tell the difference on camera, but in person, there's a way bigger of a difference. Okay, so now that we're done polishing the oil cap and all the little metal bits in the engine bay of the R32, it's time to fix the front lip. So the front lip came cracked when I got it. I already have a bumper, new lip that I plan to put on, but just for the time being, I want it to look amazing, so I'm just gonna fill it with some JB Weld and sand it and spray it lightly with some flat black paint, and let's see how it turns out. Okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is just duct tape over a big crack right here, and I already filled this in a while ago, So I plan to fill it again like this over here, and then sand and try to fix the lip, just so it looks half decent when people look at it, because you can obviously tell this is duct tape and it doesn't look that great. So let's go mix some JB Weld together and attempt to fix this. Okay, first things first, let's grab some gloves so I don't cut myself, and let's try to take off this tape. The duct tape's on there pretty good, and I don't think I can peel it off. So I'm gonna be trying some sandpaper, see if I can sand it off a little bit, and then use the JB Weld and try to fix it. I only have the steel version of JB Weld, the epoxy, but it's only temporary, so I think it should work for the next little bit before the new bumper gets painted. But let's go and mix 50-50. We only need a little bit of this stuff. It's a 2-part epoxy, so 50-50 of each, and then take a screwdriver and just mix it. And so I have this gray kind of paste now that I'm gonna use to fill the cracks and then sand and paint that little spot right there with the JB Weld. So let's see how it goes. So just a little update on what we did here. We ended up using Bondo instead of the JB Weld. So I went over on the big crack that was here that was covered with duct tape, and just an extra application, I guess, over some of these cracks. So I still gotta fill these two, but we just gotta let it dry and then sand and then paint it. So I'm just gonna go and take a little break and let this thing dry, and then I'll come back and sand it and then paint. While we wait for the front lip to dry, I pulled out all the floor mats from the GTR. So these are the old floor mats. The rubber's not even on the back. Here's just a little comparison of the passenger floor mats. So on the left is the ones that came with my car, and on the right are the new ones that I'm going to be putting in now after I clean them up a bit. But just take a look. These are really firm, and this one's all floppy. And the back is completely gone on these. And here, they look brand new. So these are obviously used. They have a little stains here and there, so I'm gonna be trying to carpet clean those. And so we're gonna take all these out and clean these the best we can and put them in the GTR. We got all the carpet laid out and the carpet cleaner here. I've never used this carpet cleaner before, so I guess we're gonna see how it works and see how dirty these mats are. So I just finished shampooing and cleaning these carpets for the Skyline. Look at this. This is the aftermath. Oh, that's disgusting. Right now I'm just mixing the Bondo to put another coat on the front lip. I decided to let it dry last night to make sure that it was fully hardened so I can apply another coat and then sand. So right now I'm just gonna be mixing the second coat of the Bondo, just trying to get the consistent color of this kind of pinkish color. Let's just keep mixing. I think that's about good. There's a bit left on this scraper, so I'm just gonna give it a few more and then I can apply it to the front lip. Okay, so I'm pretty happy with that. I think I'm gonna start applying it to the front lip now, so let's go do that. Just another coat for this spot right here. There's a few little holes that I gotta fix. And then another spot over there more. But let's just apply some. Take a little bit and let's apply it to this front lip here. That should be good for that spot. I'm just gonna let it dry and then sand over it. So let's just go do the other spots. I'm just gonna go over it with the rest of the Bondo that I have. We're just gonna let it dry now and then we can sand, but I just touched up the few spots that needed touching up. So we're just gonna wait now. I was just reading the can and it said that we have to allow it to dry for 30 minutes. Yesterday I let it dry the whole night just in case, but since it says 30 minutes on the can and then we can sand, I'm just gonna wait 30 minutes. But in the meantime, I'm gonna show you guys the interior of the GTR. So yesterday I did a full interior detail on the GTR. I cleaned all the carpets, vacuumed and cleaned even the floor mats and the seats. The new floor mats look really good in here. You can actually see the white outline of the stitching that is on the floor mats, which the other ones didn't because they were so gray. So yeah, the car's slowly coming along. I just gotta clean probably more of the dash and all the windows and I should be good. I also wanted to mention that I picked up this Chemical Guys interior cleaner. So this is the Silk Shine for vinyl, rubber, and plastic. So the interior of the Skyline is all plastic and vinyl. I picked this up and I've used it before. It's actually pretty good. It makes your car shine, so. Okay, let's just test this stuff and let me show you guys how this works. So I'm just gonna put a little tape line here and do half of it and let's see the results. I'm just gonna put enough, there we go. That's perfect. All right, now we need a little rag. There we go, we just need a little bit and then apply it to the surface. Ooh, you can see the difference there. And just to show that it's not wet, I'll just rub it in a bit with the dry part of the towel. I did my whole interior already. I'm not sure how long it takes for me to reapply, but I guess I'll figure that out pretty soon and just keep monitoring it and just apply when I need it. I have a pretty big bottle, so I shouldn't run out anytime soon. This is why we're working indoors today. Vancouver weather's so bipolar. Okay, so I think we're gonna let the Bondo dry on the front lip and then sand and then hopefully paint today. But we'll see how that goes, if we need to fill it anymore. I'm just gonna let it dry now and I'll come back when we either add the next coat of Bondo or start sanding. I already went ahead and sanded everything down with really rough sandpaper and then I went over with a fine sandpaper. And everything looks pretty good, it's all smooth. I think it's ready for prime and paint, but first I think we have to clean the surface with some rubbing alcohol. I cleaned the front lip with some rubbing alcohol and then I masked it with some newspaper masking tape. Here it is. It's not the prettiest job, but it'll do. It'll prevent overspray from the primer and paint. So I'm ready to start priming now, so let's get into that. Okay, so the first coat of primer is done. Here it is. It's just a light dusting of primer, but I'm just gonna let it dry and then add another coat, but there it is. Okay, we are finally done priming. Here is the finished product of the primer. All one color, which is good. Now all I gotta do is sand it with some high grit sandpaper, and then I can start adding my first coat of paint. But it looks pretty good so far. So let's start sanding. I think I'm gonna use 320 grit. I feel like that's just enough to scuff the surface so we can start painting, but it won't take off a lot, so let's use this. Time for paint. We are done our first coat of paint. So, this is what it looks like. Just did a little dusting so far for the first coat. Nothing too heavy. This is my first time doing any kind of body work to any car, so I'm pretty proud of myself. We'll see how it looks like in the end though, so stay tuned. It is currently 12:30 in the morning. I just finished unmasking everything. The front lip is finally done. It's kind of hard to see right now, so I'll just show you guys in the morning. All right, it is the next day, and we have the GTR out of the garage. So here's the front lip. Way better than the taped up, cracked front lip. The new paint makes it look pretty new, so I think it's a pretty good job. It was one of my first times ever doing bodywork on any car, so I'm pretty proud of myself. That's it, so enjoy the cinematics.